OSW-Sim-Sports here, and I hope you are ready for an emotional roller coaster, because that is exactly what you are going to get. Because in this race I went from this to this and finally to this. Hello everyone. So here we are at the beautiful Fuji. I qualified in 3rd position. I thought to myself, screw it, why the hell not, and I picked the Ferrari, which turned out to be a pretty dumb decision because, well, it drives very nice and it is really quick in the corners. On the straight, here you can see you just get blasted by everyone. And even while I had a pretty good start, here you can see the Lambo is already basically just ahead of me. Here I try to find a space, but the Lambo pretty aggressively closes the gap. We have a little bit of contact, but luckily no damage. Behind me there's a BMWer struggling for position, Mr. Serra. And as you can see, he's really trying to compromise the car behind him. And he barely managed to avoid me, luckily. And as the pack is still so extremely close, the main issue here is to not make any mistake. The second I open the gap here to Mr. Serra, he will go past me. Obviously I want to keep track position, so yeah, just driving very tight, very safe, make no mistakes. And here, well, I do get a very nice run on the Lamborghini here. As you can see, I had a very nice run, but yeah, here down the straight he just drives away from me and I basically have zero chance here to really go on the offensive. As it is still lap 1, I lift a little bit, give them plenty of space. This then gives me the opportunity to have a little sniff on the inside here, but the Lambo closes the door. I close the door again on the BMW of Mr. Serra and we all stay in position. And now into the extremely technical section of this track. Very important to get your trail braking under control, and this is really where this car shines. It really puts a lot of confidence in the driver. And if it had a bit more top speed, it would most likely be way more popular. Because look at this, how compromised the Lamborghini is here. I have a pretty decent exit, like not bad at all, and yeah, from here on out he just drives away from me. As they start weaving and I have a Beamer alongside me, I don't really want to run into him, so I just give him the space. Serra now passed me, so we are now in 4th position, and as you know by now I am a wise old guy, so yeah, no problem, and the race is still more than winnable from here. As the pack is extremely tight together here, 6 cars all jostling for position, and I finally get a nice run on the Lambo here. I also have a decent exit, and luckily he just decides to yield, which now finally allows me to catch back up with Mr. Serra ahead. Now P1 and 2 in the race were also driver ranking 1 and 2, so I knew this wouldn't be easy. As the Lambo spins out of the race, luckily I just had passed him, and yeah, no problems here, so we just keep chasing the 2 BMWs ahead. And these 2 cars driving away from me in the traction zones and in the straight would be pretty much the team of this race. Honestly, I drove quite a lot of the BMW, Aston Martin and some of the other high top speed cars, and you really don't notice like how much disadvantage the Ferrari and I think the Porsche too actually have on the straights. And now it is obviously easy to say like you are a lot faster in the corner, so just pass them and you should be alright. The lap times are still the same, but obviously when they have such big ass BMWs it is not easy to pass, and when they have such good traction it is basically impossible to get a run on them. And again here I have a pretty decent run coming out of the corner, but just look here on the straight how much they open up the gap. And yeah, my inner Fernando Alonso McLaren days were really starting to bubble up. And it was becoming more and more clear that if I wanted to actually win this race, I would have to make all of the gains in the braking zones and in the corners. So I quickly on the fly adjusted, or at least tried to adjust my driving style to a more balls to the wall style, in which I maximize corner speed, corner entry speed that is, and minimize braking distance as much as possible. Obviously you do that in every car, but even more so here.
avenge you.
And with that we were now in P2 chasing down number 1, Mr. Serra, as he had punted out Mr. Base from the lead. Now obviously he was pushing a lot to get past Mr. Base, but he was now in clear air, so he would be able to push up the pace a little bit higher, which then also meant I had to step up my game as well. And you can see it here also in my driving style. I'm becoming a bit more aggressive, a bit more confident. And I remember that especially during the last corner, or the corner we are in now, the car pretty much felt like it was floating at some points. Like it, you know, it has a perfect balance, and thus it has a perfect four-wheel slide. And you can really chuck it into the corners and catch it from any situation. And here we go for a little hot lap montage. And after 6 insanely consistent laps, we are now finally in this draft. And you can see here during the braking zone how much I close up the gap. We even make a little bit of contact, but luckily no damage. And as he is driving a front engine car, his tire wear will be a bit worse than mine. And especially here during the extremely long right-hander coming up, this will really start to show more and more. But of course I also only have 2 laps left, so it is really important to, you know, find a nice spot to get past him. And as he is in the BMW and I am in the Ferrari, I would preferably pass him not before a straight, because then he would instantly pass me again. And so here you can see once again, even within the draft I have a tough time keeping up with him on the straights, but in the corners I'm just so much quicker than him that it's sometimes even a little bit awkward for me. And also the BMW is just so goddamn wide, because look here, he goes wide, but yeah, there's just no way for me to get past. Also here I have a little sniff, but yeah, as long as he makes the corner somewhat and gets on the throttle nice and early, there's just no real way for me to get past. And also here you can very much see I'm compromising the entry in order to get a nice run. I'm on the throttle way earlier than him, but yeah, you can see here he's just driving away. And at the end of the straight I do catch a little bit, but if I want to pass this guy I either have to do it in the corners or in the braking zones, because as you can see I am much quicker than him in the braking zones, and also here in the left-hander and the right-hander. At this point in the race I am much quicker than him. And I know that some viewers will be annoyed with the choice of music for this section of the race, but this is legit what it felt like to me. This perfectly symbolizes the vibe you have when you are chasing someone in P2 and you only have 1.5 laps to go. You really start to push everything, you start becoming a little bit sweaty, a little bit nervous, and you can see it in my facial expressions. The second I make a mistake I get a little bit frustrated with myself. This then gives you the superhero ego where you are like, okay, I have to close up the gap again, and I will do so at all costs. This is obviously also the moment where you start making stupid mistakes, and it would be really down to me making no mistakes and getting a nice run on him here somewhere in this technical section in order to actually get the move done. But as you can also see, he was just keeping it very tidy, very clean. No real mistakes, and yeah, just getting his foot down nice and early every time coming out of the corner, and I essentially have no chance. And here again he just drives away, he says ciao ciao, goodbye, which is kind of ironic since I am in the Italian car. He should have said auf Wiedersehen, but oh well. And you can see here that with just the draft on the straight I gained 1.5 tenths before even first corner, and now we are still very nicely on his tail. I am just hoping at this point he is getting a little bit sweaty, he starts making a mistake. I just want him to know that I'm there, I'm within 0.3 of a second, and if he goes wide anywhere I will send it. Here I have a very nice opportunity because I have much more speed, and boom, he blocks the door to me. I have to go to the outside. I brake nicely. Of course the BMW is wide as fuck again, and thus I have to slot in behind him. Now I'm in the slipstream, I should be able to close the gap, you would assume, but obviously I'm in a Ferrari, so I'm not really able to. But here in the braking zone you can see how much I close up to him, much tighter going through the corners. Also a lot more confidence because my car just sticks a lot more. And it is now all coming down to these final 3 corners. If I can get a sniff anywhere, I will obviously send it. But as you can see, he's also just driving tight lines and basically blocking the inside line everywhere. And here into the last corner we go, and this surprised me so much because he went wide. This leaves me the room to go up the inside with Ferrari. I have much more corner speed. I instantly block the inside line because I don't want to weave, I don't want to be dirty. He comes alongside me, he's in the BMW, and at this point you can see it in my face, I had pretty much given up. I already knew, he was coming alongside me and he would pass me. And there we go, I was in 2nd position. So obviously I was a little bit frustrated, chatting a little bit, like the last move there was not really on, the defensive one. And then I checked the replay, and once I came back from the replay, here at this point I didn't really realize it. You can see I want to close the session, but you can see like my name is in purple, I'm in 1st position. You can see it in my face, I'm like, wait, what did just happen here? Did something get corrected, or did he get a penalty? Was there some ping issue or whatever? And so the only way to find out is to close the session.
Yes! Oh, grazie ragazzi! Che giro! Grazie!
And upon closing the session, it was confirmed I was in 1st position, and most likely because he was playing from Brazil and I was playing from the Netherlands. The ping was super high, and after the race it got corrected. And here you can see I wasn't clickbaiting you guys, the gap was literally 0.000 seconds. And so before I leave you, I have one question. What is the closest you have ever finished a race? I have finished some races by a few milliseconds before, but never by 0.000. I have just never seen it before. Let me know. I have been OSW-Sim-Sports. I wish you all a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.